What you should understand about your multidimensional skill set. How to understand your multidimensional skills that are coming in. How to understand what these episodes are trying to tell you. 1. Often you are shown what you can do so that you can use these skills in assisting the light forces or to pass on messages to others here on Earth. I've found it doesn't tend to be random. When I found I could talk to animals even at that point in my life, I was being shown a new way to earn money that would have taken me off my path of working day jobs, which I hated. 2. I was just working near a light and I swear I did not turn it on, but here it is, on. I'm going to keep checking to see if it keeps on happening because typically I don't do these things. There was no need to turn it on because it wasn't dark yet, and it's still not dark yet, but the light is on. This indicates your mind can turn on lights instead of using your hands to physically do it. It indicates you're becoming more of an alchemist. This tells me that reality responds to my mind, not to my body. As it always has, it's just becoming more apparent because I can do things with my mind that I couldn't do before. Part of me thinks I stepped on the switch when I was doing something else, so we'll see. Now I just need my mind to put that fan downstairs and those bags back in the car again. And I can just sit here and work. Ivo, this is all correct, my love. At a time that you were unhappy with your work, and that we were unhappy that you continued to choose the corporate lifestyle as a means of making an income, you were shown, through your work with a spiritual therapist, that you were capable of telepathic communication. You spoke to a cat, and this is something that you were interested in because you had gone to a short seminar on the subject before. Apparently the cat wasn't interested in coming to the session that night, and so we had to listen to the lecturer go on about how you can do it. Apparently without the demonstration, she had no presentation prepared and I wasn't impressed. It ended up being a pep talk. Turns out I was reading the mind of the woman beside me and I can't remember the story exactly, but because I could read her mind, apparently she decided to buy another feline companion for the cat she already had. I hope the cat appreciates a companion. They don't always. Mine wouldn't. That night, I guess sitting in a room with people who are more psychic than usual, I was able to see globs coming out of the lecturer's head, which I took to be her thoughts. I would have preferred to see the cat's thoughts, but he was taking a night off apparently. Ivo, it is necessary, my love, that you do not allow setbacks like these to stop you from your quest. Quite often you will be tested to see how serious you actually are in pursuing your life's work. If you are that easily put off of your path, then more will be done to strengthen your willpower. You will be put through endurance testing to strengthen your will, because if you are this easily put off, your will in doing your soul's work is too weak. Yes, I always had weird things happening to me through the learning annex. The other one I went to was led by a psychic who told us all humans are telepathic and you can do it too. I wanted to see if she was for real, so I sent her the thought that she has a big nose. She looked right at me a second later and said, "So do you." Yes, it works. And don't tell psychics they have big noses. And yes, I do have a rather big nose that I'm quite proud of. That is an example of projection, because at the time I was self-conscious of the size of my nose. Now I don't care. You see in others that which you don't like about yourself. Ivo, these things are sometimes shown to people as indications that they can become initiated into their life's work. Had you begun with telepathic communication with animals, even part-time on the side, you would eventually have discovered us a lot faster than you did. At that time, you went through Kundalini awakening, and it was not long before you could not work any longer, so you went on long-term disability. Yes. But once I was able to work again, I could have followed up on the animal communication or even channeling by that point, but I didn't until now. I know for me it was always a question of feeling safe. I didn't, there are still days I may not, and until I take care of that one little sticking point, I don't venture off into new horizons. And that's of course the way they manipulate us, into feeling unsafe. Our security comes from earning money, at least for many it does, and for me office work was the sure thing. Turns out I ran out of money being self-employed later on anyhow. I had to move and try it all over on new terms. They really have us over a barrel with this money thing. We have to teach ourselves to transcend the system. Ivo, all of you who are developing multidimensional skills, you must look at how you can utilize them now, or for work purposes, or to fulfill your soul's commitment to the Earth project. There is always a reason, nothing is random in life. Start as a hobby and develop your skills, whatever it is. Take note of when it happens and feed your energy into it. Do not say, "It was nothing. It is my imagination," because you are not feeding positive energy into your ability, you are deflating your ability. Also, I would like to reiterate again, that if you are easily put off of your life's path, as Sharon was, then your will is too weak. Understand that pursuing your life's work in a third and fourth dimensional environment often requires your working on yourself on this end to get clear, so that a clear path will be shown for you. If you are not vibrating at the correct frequency to have this path made clear to you, you will be given challenges to overcome in order that your will be strong enough to do this work. For those of you who were born into psychic families who nurtured your skills, you may be wondering what we are talking about because it was easy for you. Obviously, your contribution to the Earth Collective does not require your having to do preliminary work as Sharon's was. In other words, do not sit there and wait for it to come to you, go and get it. If you have a desire, a passion, or something you feel this Earth needs and you can provide it, even if you cannot provide it, take steps anyway. What you imagine, you can create. Me, yes. People message me about their children and how to school them using 5D principles. Well, other than changing this entire planet, you start small. Perhaps Mary Rodwell is someone to watch, but it's a question of retraining your own mind to align with 5D, then your children will imitate your behavior. If you don't think your kids imitate your behavior, you haven't had any kids or you haven't observed yourself enough. I know I have had a lot of my parents' behaviors to overcome. At times I hear myself talking like my sister and, yes, blood runs thicker than water. It's a question of keeping what you like and losing what you don't like about it. I believe there are people who will start an alternative schooling system that is not based on supporting bullying, and that's in caps, like our current day school systems are. Creating school systems based on unity consciousness is what the children now need, not divisive bullying systems where the haves and the have-nots are pitted against each other. I think some parents would prefer pulling their children from school rather than allow them to continue to be bullied by weaker, duality consciousness children who are exploitative in nature. Because the parents teach them to be that way, and by the time they go to school these behaviors are already entrenched. It's very hard for sensitive children to just be who they were born to be when they're busy either being hurt, which lowers their frequency, or learning to defend themselves from other kids in the power over others system, particularly when the school system supports the lower vibrations. I remember that even from when I went to school. Allowing children to learn in the power over self, or self-mastery system is the way of the future, but there is a need now. Who's up for it? Thank you for your indulgence. Sharon and Ivo.